Peace, everybody. How's everybody doing this Sunday? I know there's a hurricane on the way, so for all those in the path of Hurricane Ida, wish y'all the best of luck. Hope everybody prepared. Hope everybody evacuated because this is going to be a devastating storm. It currently has winds of 150 miles an hour, and the pressure is currently 933 millibars. So if you're in that path, make sure you have taken care of yourself. Today's topic is gonna be um, where's the body of work, and I feel this is necessary based on circumstances that have been going on, what we've been seeing as of lately in the community, and it's just important to bring this up so people know who they are listening to, and most importantly, is this person authentic? So I'm going to give a couple of minutes to let more people get into the chat before I continue on. Alrighty, it's approaching the 2 minute mark. Um, yeah, thank you, Fly Guy, for being engaging. Also, when more people get into the chat, make sure to be engaged, ask questions, give your comments. Don't just let this become just me talking or just all of that. If you can be engaged, please like the video, please comment below, please share. Get the information out to as many people as possible. Like I said, ask questions, engage, give your opinions, that all that stuff matters in getting the video out, helping the algorithm. So please, if you can, be engaged and really have a conversation. I want this to be conversational, not just me ranting. He says, "Hi Jabari, I want to know what you think about Uganda and Afghan refugees into the country. I have no problem with that because knowing the situation that's happening in Afghanistan, it only seems appropriate. It's not just Uganda doing it, it's Iran, it's Pakistan, it's the United States, um, it's Western Europe that's doing it. So it's not just Uganda and people just making it, oh, because they have one African country, that means that all of these Afghans are just running to Africa. It's not true. So, um, you know that's my whole spin on it. I don't have a problem with it. I feel like that's something you should do because it does build up your reputation. One of the things we're going to have to learn about is what's called international relations and viewing how the international community views you, and for you to take in refugees and for you to assist them, that looks great on you internationally. It could help attract more people, you can get more investments, more skills. So that's a benefit. And also, let's not forget that there have been a lot of Africans who fled Africa as refugees that were given spaces in Middle Eastern countries, in South America, in the Caribbean, in the United States, in Europe, and just I think it would only be respectful to also give that same consideration. So, Holub said, I'll let you get into the topic first before I chime in. Okay. And we're about to get into it right now. So, today's topic, like I said before, is where's the body of work? And I was inspired by the situation because y'all all know the craziness that happening with this dude. Y'all know who he is. I don't even got to say his name. All I got to say is Miami, Florida, and you already know who I'm talking about. But, yeah, this man has once again disappointed the black community, and we've seen this How many times? We've seen this with how many, people in the conscious community, the black conscious movement and all of this stuff, da 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 da. But once again, we're in this situation because a lot of people, not many, but a significant amount of people have not asked, where's the body of work with this person? The biggest indicator of somebody's present behavior and somebody's future behavior is to look at their past and look at their track record. That's why you see in the thumbnail, I put it track record. Because in a lot of books, because we need to see your resume. We need to see what you've done. We need to see your background. And a lot of people get offended with that, but it's the truth. We need to see your background. We need to see what you've done. We need to see your behavior. We need to know about this. That's holding you accountable. That's not us, trying to destroy your reputation. We want to know that the people who are leading the community, the people who are supposed to be our representatives, the people who are supposed to build for the Black community actually know what they're talking about and are in good standing. When you don't do that kind of analysis, instead you're focusing on how somebody looks, you focus on what religion they worship in, when you focus in on, the fact that they sound good or they make you feel good or they're making some good points, that makes them a leader. No, they just brought up good points. That doesn't mean that they're an expert, they're qualified to speak on this subject. They just made a good point. But instead of us focusing on what is this person's background in a particular field? How long have they been working in that field? Where did they work at? What did they do? What is their mission statement? What are their objectives? What are their short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals? We skip right over that. And we see all of these scams. We don't see a lot of results in the community because nobody wants to do the tough part, which is ask, where's the body of work? Um, I want to answer Fly Guy's question because I really want to answer that before I get back into it. He says, I don't have a problem with either. It was only about 2,000 people. A lot of people on the African Diaspora News Channel get upset over nothing. um, I absolutely agree, Fly Guy. But the thing about it is these people are not public policy experts. These are people who have not studied public policy, African and philosophy. They have not studied, political science. They haven't done none of that, so they don't know. They're just going off of their opinions. Like I've said before, and I've made this before. I took a public policy course in when I was at the University of Johannesburg in South Africa. I really wanted to take international, I think it was also the second semester, but I wasn't there. I was supposed to take foreign policy in Africa. Okay, like I said, I have some experience in this. I've done I've done a synopsis of a report of what public policy entails. And it's not just, well, we shouldn't just let people in. No, you got to factor in, okay, international relations. You have to factor in international, views of you. You have to factor in the fact that you're in a global world. You're part of the UN. You're part of all this stuff. Now, people will say, well, the United States gets away with a lot of stuff. But the reality of it is there are a lot of countries that check the United States. The United States is not a unipolar nation like it was in the 1990s when the Soviet Union collapsed. You have Russia checking them. You have China. You've had other EU members check the United States because we make the assumption that the European Union is just the United States' lapdog. When in reality, the European Union doesn't view China and Russia the same way as the U.S. does. Once again, we're making the assumption that global politics is simplistic, and it's not. It's very complex. And you also said, I think Black people deserve a little transparency when dealing with certain projects because some people take advantage of us, and that's absolutely true. And that's a good point you bring up, and why I brought up track record, transparency. You know, what are your goals? What are your mission statements? What are the results? Can we see what you produced. Okay, don't come at us and bash us. Don't come and do ad hominems and all of these logical fallacies, because people have the audacity and the rightful audacity to question, what are you doing? Where are things going? And are we getting the results that we want? That's for anything that you do. And Holla went even further. They deserve full transparency. Exactly. It's like any job that you do. Whenever you're doing a job or whenever you apply for one, they tell you specifically, is what you're saying 100% true? You have to, there is a clause at the bottom of every application you fill out that says, if something that you're saying is not true or is not transparent, you are disqualified. And you also have to provide a resume. You have to fill out all of this information, because we need to know, are you qualified to do the job? Nobody hires somebody out of willy-nilly because they sound good. They have to look at your resume and see, what does this person bring to the table? But I'll let Underrated Mind get his takes in, and then I'll continue on.
Yeah, I kind of came into you rambling, so just if you could bring me up to speed a little bit.
Yeah, so today's live, as in the thumbnail, is where's the body of work? And basically, we've heard of the situations that have been happening in the community, and we see this constantly happening because people don't look at the track record, people don't look at their past, what body of work they put in, and they end up being disappointed. So
Oh,
I'll let you go in with that, but that's what we were really talking about. And then
yeah,
also they were asking some questions, but go ahead.
yeah. Just to kind of keep it brief, this reminds me of the book. Probably some of you guys have read it, but Seven Daily Habits of Highly Effective People, and they talk about personality ethic and versus character ethic, where typically in our past, our people look at, personality, someone who sounds good, that has the charisma, that speaks very well and eloquently, or as Jabari would say, uses flowery language, where we're not focusing on a character, the basics, their resume, as you mentioned, Jabari. And that's very important because you can sound very smart, you can seem like you know what you're talking about, but when we pull up, the Carfax or whatever, like, does it match up? Does it add up? So yeah, it's very important to have body of work, because then it helps you stand out more, and then we know that you're being authentic as well. Authenticity is very important. So I would say that's just my spin on it.
Great point. When you brought up the book Seven Days of Daily Habits, I really got to get that book because I have not heard of that or read about that. So that'll be on my reading list. But and to add to your point, there are two distinct points that people need to understand, and I think Holla and everybody in the chat is going to agree. There's a difference between being competent and being confident. They're not mutually exclusive, but being confident and being competent are two separate things that people need to make the distinctions. Being confident means you think you know what you're doing. Like, I believe that I can do it. I think I can do it. Competency is you can do it. You
Mm.
have the capacity to do it. Okay, it's like with the president of the United States. People are like, well, oh my God, I didn't expect this to happen, or why is the country like this, right? And the answer is simple. People are voting, and they've done research on this. People vote based off of confidence and not competence. You care
Mm.
more about the person sounding good, like Underrated Mindset, using flowery language, sounding all visionary with all these talking points, and then you don't really ask the questions of, or think about, does this person have any experience working with public policy, management, working in departments. What's his degree in? Was he environmental engineer, a civil engineer? Was he a chemical engineer, agriculture, agribusiness? None of these questions are asked and really given weight. Instead, we just say, like I said, it sounds good and they sound confident about it, so let me vote that person. And then when that person gets into office and then the economy tanks, the answer comes down to being you voted for somebody who was confident but not competent. And that matters. Being competent matters, not just being confident and just running your mouth. Um, he said on the Afghan refugee situation, black people think accepting them into Uganda makes black people globally look weak and too accepting of other groups.
Hello.
Why is that? Um, I don't know why, but we have this
Hello.
philosophy as if I can hear you underrated, man. Can you hear me?
Oh God. Hold on, I'll be back.
All right. It's not making us accepting to other people. Like accepting refugees um has been a cornerstone of international law. My whole question is if if it makes us look weak, then doesn't that make Europeans look weak? The fact that they've accepted millions of immigrants in, not just Afghans, Pakistanis, Indians, Chinese, Japanese, Taiwanese, Bengalis. So doesn't that make the British look weak? The French look weak? I mean, America's accepting the Cubans, the Venezuelans, the Nicaraguans, the Colombians, the Haitians, the Dominicans, the Bahamians, um, Nigerians, Ethiopians, Congolese. So that means the United States is a weak country, right? I mean, it makes the American people look weak. The fact that all of these, immigrants are coming in. That means America is a loving country, right? I mean, it's not a racist country, right? Because I mean, they're accepting all of these immigrants, right? That makes no sense. Okay? They let you in because they understand your circumstances. The French government and the British government, the German government, and other foreign governments are letting you in because they understand if you stay in the country you're currently staying in, you could possibly die. In order to seek refugee and asylum status or get some of these, immigration reforms, you have to have a legitimate reason as to why you are fleeing. If I'm in northern Nigeria and I know Boko Haram is running around Lake Chad, running around Cameroon, Borno, Sokoto, Niger, me staying in northern Nigeria, especially as a dissident, somebody who's against that mindset, I could get killed for that. We see what's going on even in northern Nigeria with people getting kidnapped. There is literally an industry where terrorist organizations like Boko Haram will kidnap children from school and demand ransom, or their parents will never see their children again. That's why the US government will let them in. That's the reason why. Europe will let them in. That doesn't mean Europeans are weak people or they're just loving people. But people understand the circumstances that are happening. And this proves the point of body of work. Again, people knowing what they're talking about. You have people talking about international politics, but they don't know a single thing about foreign policy. They don't know a single thing about the Middle East. They don't know how the Middle East got to be where it is to be. If I were to tell them, please tell me what the Mujahideen was. Please tell me what ISIS K is or ISIS Kurdistan is. Can you please tell me when the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan took power? Who was the president prior? Who, like, they can't tell you none of this. And Fly God made a great point. The Afghan refugees are under the socio-economic political control and dominance of black people. I don't see a problem with Uganda accepting it. Right. They acting like these Afghan refugees are coming into Africa and they're gonna be running things. They ain't running nothing. Like once again, they act
I can't
like
hear a
we
thing.
act like
Oh
immigrants and foreigners who come
gosh.
to Africa are running things. They're not running anything. Okay, they are able to do what they do because they are allowed to do it. Okay, but once again, going back to competence, people don't know what they're talking about. You have mouth breathers who are talking about this. Like my God, it's the same thing. And I'm about to get into a controversial topic, right? I'm about to get into a very controversial topic, but it deals with this. Where's the body of work? It's the same way you will have a black people who will talk about the advancement of LGBT rights, right, in Africa. And they'll say, well, they'll never do this in the Middle East. They put a rainbow flag in the United Arab Emirates. Where was y'all at talking about that? Y'all talking about, oh, the Middle East doesn't accept that. There are many countries in the Middle East that have it legalized. Turkey has it. It may not be out like in the open like that, but it's legal there. There are a few Arab countries where it's legal. So what's your point? See, once again, speaking from your mouth and you have no idea what you're talking about. And you know what I find so funny with these same folks? You can look on the map of Africa, and all of the countries where it's illegal was where the British colonized.
Mm.
All the countries where it's not illegal were where the French were colonizing. So if you want to talk about bringing a Western mentality, why don't you talk about that homophobia that was imported from the early 1900s? Because you still got the laws on book.
Oh shit.
Y'all still wearing wigs on y'all hair, by the way.
Oh.
We ain't forgot about that. Oh, and by the way, you got Mormons, you got Protestants, you got Latter Day Saint, I mean Mormons, but all of that running wild. All these Christian missionary groups running around the African continent, and y'all ain't giving that same backlash. Y'all let Joel Osteen run his mouth. Y'all let Billy Graham run his mouth. Y'all let Paula Dean do Paula White do it. Y'all let all these pastors do it.
Mm.
All of these right wing Christians in America who literally have white supremacist viewpoints about black people believe black people are some demonic force, and you listening to them.
All in the name of Jesus. Mm.
It's a like I said, the blatant lack of incompetency is stunning to me. It, but this once again shows body of work, and we're gonna keep bringing it up. Body of work. This shows me you don't know a single thing about politics, and maybe you should not be nowhere near running a government because you don't know the process of government. You don't know the process of international relations. You don't know none of that. Go ahead, underrated mind. Go ahead, underrated mind.
I always find it so funny. It's like when it comes to a job interview or finding the right person to maybe fix a roof, clean out the gutters or whatever, like we want somebody with experience and that knows what they're doing. You know, you can't just sound good, whatever. Like you have to have the right credentials to get the job done. But then when it comes to politics, it's like all that stuff is thrown away. Same thing with nationhood, like we can an individual can understand, I got to change my proximity, I want something better. I need a new reality and this system doesn't do me no good. But when it comes to as a collective and having numerous people, having their own home and nation stay on African continent, it's like it's not even being talked about. It's like what are we doing here? Like when did all of this sudden just go into the clouds and not come back down to reality? It's ridiculous. So Yeah, I don't know, Jabari. I mean, you said a lot right there, itself. So all I could do was just add on to that. Can everybody hear me, by the way? Because I had some trouble with the audio.
I think mine might have been unstable. Okay, I think mine is good. Mine is good right now.
Yours is good. I couldn't hear myself because when I popped in, it just kept going in and out for some reason. So I had to use different headphones.
All right. People in the chat say they can hear us. But
All
underrated
right,
mind, what you're
cool.
saying is absolutely true. It's the same thing when people talk about Liberia. Liberia is the epitome of an example of people don't know what they're talking about. People just babbling, rambling on, making statements that they read on Wikipedia and think they an expert. They ain't read no African repository. They ain't read the Liberian Herald. They ain't read anything archives about Liberia, but yet feel that they can run their mouth and make a video about.
And you know what's so funny? It's like if they don't know, they'll make up something to make it seem like they know. I will respect the person a lot more that would have said, "Look, I don't know what's going on. I don't know anything about Liberia. Is there anybody that I can speak to or any resources to where I can, get up to speed and get some knowledge and really understand nationhood or understand the politics, what we should be looking for." I would rather take that any day than somebody that just, makes something up and it's 100% inaccurate, because then you're causing confusion for not only just for yourself but even for other people that don't even know. And then it's pretty much that bad apple that spoils a bunch. Then you got a lot of bad apples.
I love that point. I wasn't even thinking about that. That is such a true statement. I'd rather you just say, listen, I'm not an expert in this. I don't know what I'm talking about. This is what I've read. Is this true or not? Can you explain it? That would end so much conflict if people just simply said, listen, I'm not an expert in Pan African politics. It's not my forte. Maybe you can explain the Pan African side and Pan African history, but I'm not an expert in Pan Africanism, the history of African American self determination, Black nationalism. I'm not an expert in that. It's better just to say that. Oh, and Fly Guy made a great point. He said, my problem with some people speaking about African issues on YouTube are sometimes not genuine or misinformed. Exactly. That's the same thing I have. I'm like, you're speaking on a subject that either you're being disingenuous or you know you're misinformed, because it's like we talk about with Liberia. How many times do you see and that's why we make the videos that we make about Liberia, doing the Liberian presidential series, talking about the BIR news events that are going on in Liberia and how we can build. Because when you have that misinformation being regurgitated and people not saying, no, what you're talking about Liberia is not true, it's incorrect. Let me educate you on this. People then get upset. And my response is, listen, if you don't know, you don't know. Okay. But don't get all upset and offended when I say, listen, you're incorrect. It's like doing a math problem. If I do a math problem and I make the mistake and say 20 times 5 is 110, when actually 20 times 5 is 100, just say, okay, I made a mistake. I miscalculated. It doesn't mean you're not intelligent. It doesn't mean you're not a genius. It doesn't mean none of that. It just means you made a mistake. And we need people to recognize that people make mistakes. As engineers, we make mistakes. Even me in school, I may make a mistake or I might not see something, but it's okay to say, I don't know this. It's okay to say, I don't know. Let's apply that to politics. It's okay to say, as somebody who's just learning about Liberia, I'm not an expert on Liberian politics. I don't know the history of it, the circumstances, the ideologies that played a part in it. So I'm going to get somebody who actually does. Or I'm going to go to somewhere like a Focus on Liberia, Liberian Heritage, a Zawadi EM, to see if I can get more information about Liberia, the BIL.
I gotta say, that 20 times 5 example, if they did it on paper and they messed up, I understand. But if they if they did it on a calculator, I got some questions.
Right. If as a matter of fact, if you saw that on a calculator, you'd be like, this calculator doesn't work. You would instantly get a new calculator
Oh God.
because because 20 times 5 is 100. That's a fact. There's
Right.
no disputing that. Okay. And that's what people need to understand. Even I don't know why in this world today, knowing we have all the information that we have, people don't understand there's something called objectivity. There are
Mm,
some things that are objective and there's some things that are subjective.
mhm,
Okay. 20 times 5 equals 100. That's a fact. That's a fact. Okay. 20 times 5 is 100. 11 times 5 is 55. Those are facts.
mm,
There's no alternative facts. Okay. Like Kellyanne Conway said. Okay. Let's apply it to your body of work. You being a civil engineer and you having a master's or a PhD and you showing us that's a fact. We can't dispute it. We can't dispute that you have it. Once you've shown people your body of work, we can't disprove it. We can't deny and saying, oh, it was a hoax. No. People who live in reality understand no, there's no we can do. That's fact.
yeah. And to go back to Fly Guy's point about, some people that speak on African issues, you know, don't sound genuine or misinformed. I would even add addition to that to where they haven't even been there to even understand, what's going on or even study the history too. Like if somebody's talking about, Liberia's this and that, and they haven't even lived over there, let alone set foot on the African continent, I don't want to hear anything else that you have to say. It's a done deal. Like I'm moving on. Like clearly my time is being wasted and you just talking out your ass. Like
And,
point
and-
blank
and
period.
I like how you said that you have nothing to say. It's like again, you coming to me knowing that I study civil engineering and asking me questions about electrical engineering or architectural engineering or computer engineering, compute or comp sci. I'm simply gonna tell you, I'm gonna refer you to one of my friends who's in comp sci or somebody who's in chemical engineering or somebody in electrical engineering because this is not my specialty.
Right. Right. And to even go on to that point too, like I think what it is, because I came across a video that pretty much sums up the folks that, misinform. They don't care about delivering the real facts or game or whatever it is. I think they're more focused on being worshiped, just sounding right, having all the praise, everybody bending the knee. Because they just, it's like the pastor, right? They say a few scriptures, the Holy Spirit's being filled, and now people are hitting the cash app. They donating they tithes and offerings. 10% went up to 30%. Like I think that's the whole motive for them, is them wanting to be recognized, having the attention, and and just being popular for once. Maybe it was an issue back in school where they just wasn't the it factor in high school, whatever, and then now they found an opportunity on this platform or any other platform to, put make a name for themselves. So yeah, it's a lot of plots and schemes going on.
And you know what's unfortunate about the underrated mind? They're the same people. Ah, oh, Dennis said you eating. He could hear you eating.
Oh my bad, I'm chewing gum.
Oh, he chewing gum. Dennis, he's chewing gum.
Yeah, let me stop.
Um, but let me add to your point, underrated mind about that. Is there's that famous the pastor forgets that phrase that's constantly remember what comes in the dark will come to the light. What's in the dark will come to the light,
Ooh.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So you are not the smartest person and you're incompetent, right? And you keep talking good, you sounding good, but when rubber meets the road, you're gonna get exposed for who you really are. And that
Mm,
and that's to me the unfortunate and saddest part of our culture is people can a person can get exposed 1,000 times and people will still believe to say this person is not bad, this person genuinely no. Donald Trump bunked the pandemic 1,000 times. There's no, you don't need to be president, you're done. I gotta admit, I like you could say, hey, I like the fact that he was a businessman, even though he was bankrupt 6 times. So technically, he's not qualified in that either. But just say, listen, you're just this is just not for you. This is not for you. You botched the response. The economy's tanking because of it. You didn't handle this in the appropriate manner. Therefore, you're not competent on this, and you're just not built for it. Okay. Um we don't have that in our culture. Everybody wants to, have cognitive dissonance and just say, um, try to rationalize or justify the behavior. No, just say, listen, he's just not qualified for it. Just like Joe Biden. Joe Biden's not perfect either. There have been plenty of things that Joe Biden has done. I'm just like, man, why are you doing that? Why?
yeah,
Why?
I can.
But oh my bad. Go ahead. I did not mean for you to interrupt you.
No, you good. I was saying I can recall. I think it was an interview where Ti was talking about how he went to a movement. Maybe it was Black Lives Matter or so, but he was in the front lines with the people and talking about basically having justice for Black folks and whatnot and protests and everything. And then after it was all said and done, throwing their fist in the air. One of the guys was like, "Now what, Ti?" Ti was like, "Huh?" And then, because they're obviously looking at him as the leader, and so he's like, "Oh, we over there," and everybody just followed. But yeah, it just goes to show, like when the rubber meets the road, like you got to know what you're doing. You can't. There's no huh. You want the smoke, you got the smoke.
Right, and like Holub said, he said something a long time ago, but he said something way up here. But he was talking about if you are going to assign yourself a leadership or representative within the collective, you don't have the luxury or benefit of the doubt of the BS artists from the past burning us. Exactly. If you are saying, listen, I have some solutions, then you need to be the leader. You need to be the forefront. You need to know what you're doing. Okay, you have expertise. You're surrounding yourself with experts. Listen, one of the things that I don't like is I don't like being the smartest person in the room.
Mm,
You should never want to be you should never want to be the smartest person in the room. You should be motivated to want to be as smart as you can be.
mm,
When I'm in that room, I want to be with epidemiologists, immunologists. I want to be with radiologists, audiologists, anesthesists, people who does anesthesia, um, gastrologists. I want to people who are economists, financial advisors, all my engineers, my architects. I want all of those in. I want the smartest people in the room. I want you to be so smart that literally I have to go look up stuff and I'm just fascinated by this stuff. Okay? You're bringing in legit knowledge. You're bringing in your work in the critique. You working on a site, you doing research and finding out based on doing these experiments that you achieve these results. I want to hear that. I want to hear your methodology. I want to hear the process. That's another part that's missing. The process. I want to hear
Mm-hmm.
the process.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, let me answer this question real quick. He said, "Is the BIO in contact with the Liberian government?" Not yet, but we have been in contact with local organizations in Liberia, particularly county organizations. We haven't gotten into the Ministry of Youth, the Ministry of Tourism, but we're slowly working our way up. So we've had gotten into contact with local Liberian organizations in particular counties. We're trying to reach out to another county. I have gotten in made some I did reach out to the William B.S. Tubman University. I have reached out to that. So we are making progress. We haven't gotten in contact with the Liberian government as with government officials, but we're starting our way with the ground up. So I'll tell you that we have county organizations and some other Liberian organizations that we're working with. And we're trying, of course, to get our way up because it's a bottom up, not top down. But that will be our goal, Yanasua Roberts. And I love your comment when you said, as a Liberian, I really do appreciate all you guys do. And we just want to get the message out, and we just want to correct the myths. I really started going ham on Liberia back in 2018. Like, I was doing this before Liberia was popping, getting popular. I was talking about Liberia, wanting to do it in my Black History program when I was in high school. When our school had a Black History Month thing, of course they wouldn't let me do it. Um,
Damn.
I've been doing people who have been advocating for Liberia since I was in senior year in high school. Really, I got into Africa junior year in high school, but really senior year is when I particularly honed in on Liberia.
Mm.
Um,
You made a great point before you had read the comment that not only that they have to have, the skills and the experience and stuff, but also explain the process, step by step, because that even shows, you really know what you're talking about and gives us a framework of how we are going to get to that solution. You know, it's one thing of giving us or telling us the solution, but how we are going to get there, what are the proper pieces that we need, that's also very important as well too. So just wanted to point that out.
how long is it gonna take?
Hmm.
What are the prerequisites? Because a lot of things have prerequisites. You can't just go do something. There are prerequisites. Once again, body of work, qualifications. Think about when you're in college. Well, if you went to college, when you took Cal 3, one of the prerequisites was Cal 1 and Cal 2 before you can even start Cal 3. Why? Because if you don't understand Cal 1 and Cal 2, you're not going to understand Cal 3. Because everything is a process. Cal 3 builds upon Cal 1 and Cal 2. Physics 2 builds upon Physics 1. Everything that you've learned throughout your college career builds up to you doing this exam, you getting your degree, you getting a certification. Everything builds up. And so when you look at nationhood, everything builds up to getting to that nation, having your own political system, having a constitution, having economic groups, civil societies. All of these build up to the culmination of this nation. But you have to have those prerequisites. There's a reason why, Hollip did a great job of land infrastructure nationhood. In order to be a nation, you got to have land that's yours. You can't be a nation in a nation that's already been claimed and is already recognized. Unless, of course, you break off a piece of that nation, which, especially in today's age, countries are strongly opposed to doing that. You got to have infrastructure because you have to build what is necessary to support a nation. You got to have child services. You got to have maternity leave and paternity leave. You have to have access to roads, bridges, subway systems, um, a tax system, an audit system, a banking system. Um, all of this stuff accumulates to then being the ultimate goal, which is nationhood. But that's the prerequisites. Everybody wants to, want to do something, but nobody wants to do the prerequisites.
Yeah, like there's no shortcuts when it comes to this. I mean, it might be a shortcut to where you get, access to the refrigerator at your spot, but like you said, Jabari, when it comes to nationhood or even just a lot of other stuff too, there's things that it's like you have to pre-plan before you plan, and prepare it before you can just, implement or get the ground running, like it's a lot of stuff you have to do before you take action and and strategize. So it's not easy, but it can be if we connect with people of like mind and we all plan adequately, and most importantly, organize. That's another ingredient too.
Yeah, like you said, you have to pre-plan. You have to do that stuff before you can even, you know, begin. Before you can even build a building, you have to design it. Before you can design it, we got to speak to the client. We got to speak to the owner. We got to make sure we have all the funds. We got to have all the equipment. You have to have all of that, surveying the land. All of that has to be done before the building can. We can even start the process of building. We got to bid for the contract. We got to get the contract. You got to have all of this stuff intended. You can't just pull up and be like, I'm gonna build a house. I'm gonna build an industrial center. I'm gonna pull up and build a commercial center. Nah, you gotta have that stuff planned. You gotta know more than just, hey, I want to build a house over there. No. In order for you to build a house, first of all, is it in the right zoning area? We got to make sure it's zoned in the right area. We got to make
Mhm.
sure the land is suitable for development. Okay. Then you got to factor in, okay, where are you going to put your sewer systems? Where are you going to put all of that, all the stuff, the power lines, the electrical grids? Where are you going to put all that? You can't put a house somewhere in the sewer system and it can't connect to the other aspects of where the building is located. Where the parking lot gonna be? How long does the parking lot gotta be? And here's another thing: how can we optimize the most amount of space while costing the least amount? By
Mm.
using the least amount of steel, the least amount of concrete. This all takes planning. You can't just build and think as you go alone.
Yeah. Optimize is definitely important because you're maximizing or you're being more efficient versus working hard and just going through, trial and error instead of really what's the word? Oh God. Damn, I hate when this happens to me. Jeez. We know you have a thought and then you just lose it.
Yeah, yeah, I understand. I understand. It be there, and you got to think for a second, and then it comes back. It's like, okay, now I remember. Now I
I
remember.
wanted to cook too, but now I just lost it. God damn it. Yeah, you can edit this one out. I'm playing.
I mean, it's okay. I mean, I understand what you're saying.
I'm playing. I'm playing. I'm playing.
Okay,
I'm
I
just
thought I was like, no. I
joking.
mean, we was gonna have it. I mean, it's a live, but I mean, it's more conversational. It's not like it's got to be picture perfect. But I
People on the
understand what
panel
you were
like, what the
saying.
hell?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. You need to be efficient instead of being a cause to it. or being a liability. Because when you're spending so much energy, you're not being efficient, you're being a liability. You're being, you know, a hindrance to it. You're not helping the process. I need
Mm,
somebody who's efficient, somebody who can optimize, maximize, you know, the process while being, you know, the least impactful, the least costly, you know, the most expensive. And and before you go, I want to add to the point of that's the important thing about confidence. Okay, competence is important because when you select the person to be your president, your vice president, your treasurer, your ministry of the youth, the ministry of transportation, the ministry of tourism, you have to look and ask the person, can this person maximize their full potential, maximize the country's full potential while being efficient, being productive, and being, you know, a benefit to the country? Does this person have the will, the skills, the track record, the vision? What is this man's vision? Does he know what he's doing? Can he explain his vision step by step? Why does he want to achieve these goals? What does he look to accomplish? What is he hoping to learn while being in office? And what is he planning to do after office or after his years of public service? Nowadays, we look at politics as being this, you know, um, career instead of politics and administrative work being what it is. It's supposed to be public service. You're
right.
supposed to serve the public,
And
not your own pockets.
instead of maximize, they want to maximize the popularity when they're in the office or doing the work instead of maximizing the productivity. You know, when they got the spotlight on them, you know how it is when that rapper has that one hit that puts them on the chart, puts them on the map. You know, they'll do anything to get it while it's hot, remain relevant until somebody else is coming up and they move on. So we got to shift that to maximizing the productivity. You know, how
Yeah, max.
productive are you?
Yeah, they maximizing their pockets. They maximizing maximizing that popularity. Basically, narcissism. Ain't nobody want to be, you know, caring. Everybody want to be narcissistic.
Oh, dear Jabbar, you on mute.
Yeah, I'm on the mute for a reason.
Oh, you were saying that it's narcissism and everybody wants to be a. You said Karen?
No, I was just saying it's not it's nobody wants to be caring or being, you know, empathetic or have what's called emotional intelligence. Everybody just wants to, you know, look out for themselves, you know, get they shine light, and then when somebody else comes and take the spotlight, they get offended. Like the spotlight ain't for everybody, bro. It's not forever.
Mm-hmm.
Underrated mind. I sent you a private chat, so yeah. But the question I would ask you is, do you think people care about how somebody appears instead of, like I said, being competent, skills, you know, certified? Can you elaborate on that?
Say that again one more time. My bad. Oh, well, I guess he gone temporarily. Let's see. Does anyone have any questions, any statements in the panel? Oh, okay, so Yenasua, let me know if I said it wrong. Sorry. Robert said, I asked because I recently spoke to some top government official and was told they had no idea of this group, but they are open to receiving you guys. Again, I am proud of you guys. Oh shit. Thank you. Let me let Jabari know once he get back. But yeah, body of work. I mean, we said a lot within this past almost hour, you know. Gotta have proof, gotta have some evidence. You know, it's more than just having the words and having a mouthpiece. Fellas, y'all already know what I mean by that. Like what's your background? What is your specialties? What have you studied recently? Because we need people in the forefront and also in the back end to help with the constructions and the blueprints of things so that it could come to reality at some point. Jabbar was mentioning the prerequisites, also deadlines too. Like you don't just do stuff just to do it and then when it's ready it's ready. Like, no, I think deadlines are important because you set an expectation as a collective to, like, look, if we come together and we get this done, we could be finished by this amount of time. And then as well, you could tell I'll just use stakeholder. When you tell the stakeholder that, that gives them, assurance, like, okay, so by this time, by March or whatever, they're saying they'll be finished. We'll come back to it, see, how it goes, and then just go on from there. So yeah. What else could I dabble upon? I think this will be a great topic for next Sunday. Because Jabbar was mentioning emotional intelligence. I thought that could be something that's worth talking about because I don't think a lot of people um, speak on it or probably just undermine it, you know, where it's not as important, but it really is. um, let's see. Well, before I go on, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Also, please register to the website. That is BAIOAfricstan.org. If someone could put in the chat for us, if you believe in nationhood, Black people having their own place, specifically in Liberia, BAI is where it's at. I mean, it's the one-stop shop, Like, nobody else is talking about this. I can't really think of, another social network that's speaking on, these topics that we bring up every Sunday and even on a weekly basis too. So yeah, like it's a great organization to be a part of. We also have the lounge, every Sunday. It's at 8 o'clock. And we just, we talk about relevant topics such as these, but also topics that may be outside of it because you can only speak about nationhood for so long. Like, we're not 24/7. We wake up, smash the snooze button. Oh man, I'm ready to talk about land infrastructure. No, like, I gotta get my bacon, egg, and cheese. you know?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. We need to read this comment. He said,
Yeah, about it. Oh,
I
gosh, I'm glad.
asked, he said,
Go ahead, Jabari. I was going to tell you that
go ahead.
uh Roberts had mentioned this in the comment section that he asked the top government if they ever heard of us. And so that person that spoke to Robert and he was open, to hear us out. So yeah, I was like, man, Jabari need to hear this.
Yeah, yes. So please sign up to the website. Please sign up to the website if you want to send us an email if necessary. But please sign up to the website if you can. Roberts, here is where you can sign up. It doesn't take long. It's real quick. Um, and then we'll let you in, and then you can, we can go from there. But we really want you in. Please sign up. That would be fantastic. We can bring what we've had.
Jabari, you cut out. Hello. Well, on that note, register to the website, it's in the chat, and Yeah,
go out.
like you back, Jabari?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you had cut out for some reason.
Yeah, my Wi-Fi was off for a little bit, but yeah, please sign up to the website. If necessary, you can email us, but sign up to the website, and then we'll let you in, and you are welcome. We will open you with open arms. Um, okay, I will email him. And please sign up to the website if you can, and then we'll get to you as soon as possible. Um, and then you can go into, like you said, you can get access to the Discord. You can get access to, some of the other group chats. We have a lot of group chats. So please, if you can, Robert, sign up to the website, BIO/African/such register, and you can go from there. It's not a long process. It's fairly simple.
Baruti said, to underrated mind and Jabari, I would like to see more Liberians advocating support for your ideas concerning African Americans, asserting Liberianness and the notion that African Americans helped build Liberia in exchange for dual citizenship.
Actually, there are a lot more advocating for that. I actually am going to have another Liberian American guest on next Sunday, September 5th. So please mark your
Yes.
calendar. We will have another Liberian who she's in Liberia right now, and she's going to be doing an interview with us this upcoming Sunday on September 5th. So if you are watching, make sure you share that with everybody. She has her own YouTube channel. It's She Speaks Too, and you can go up to her YouTube channel. But she is who we'll be having an interview with next Sunday.
Yeah.
So
Can we please get more sisters in the BAIO? Please, we got a lot of brothers. We need the sisters, okay? Ain't no nationhood without the sisters. I mean, we can have all the men we want, but we gotta have our sisters in there. So please, if you believe in land, infrastructure, nationhood, and black nationalism, and you are a black woman, please join the website, register, because you guys are definitely important, and we need support. We need all the support. Oh,
yeah,
Roberts, what's your email? Or Jabari, do you know his email?
yeah, he put the email in the chat, so I'm about to email
Oh,
him right.
okay.
Yeah.
And as Jabari's doing that, if you guys need help on joining the lounge after you registered, actually, I created a video a few months back just called The Lounge, and it has, blue letters or whatever. That basically gives you, a brief description of what is the lounge and how do you join it, from the website or so. So that's another source that you could go to if you need help with. Um, oh, Jabari, I have so from the chat when you were talking about Mr. Malik or Polite, whatever, was that for the lounge or was that for the live stream as a topic?
I was originally planning to use him sort of as a live stream, but then
Oh,
I had a discussion with another BIO member, and basically we decided not we don't like giving out names, because like I said, we're not trying to clout chase. We don't really care.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
so we were just like, this is just a summation of everything that we just been telling y'all
Okay.
about needing a body of work, because this is what happens when you don't have a body of work.
Yeah. Um. Yep. That's her name, right? Jabari. She speaks too.
Yes, that is her. Yep.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm surprised Holla didn't join, because Holla said he was planning on joining. Um
Baruti said, "What do you think of Tariq Nasheed's effort and ability to raise $1 million for a hidden history museum? How do whites view blacks if Tariq is considered a leader to masses of blacks?"
It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. That's what it is. We're a laughing stock. Hey, Yanasua, can you please check and see if you got the email? Can you please check and verify that you got the email? I just want to make sure that you got the email and you got access to the link. If you can please say a yes or I got it, that would be appreciated. But yeah, we're a joke. That's a joke because being a leader is not somebody who's like Tariq Nasheed. Somebody, like I said, what background does this dude have? What industry does he work in? Okay, I don't want somebody who we all know who we was referred to as King Flex. I don't want I don't need that person. I need somebody who's a leader that says, "Good afternoon, everybody. I am the leader of this organization. I was a engineer. I used to be part of, this society of black engineers, the National Society of Black Engineers. I used to do this for a living. I worked in this, I did research on this, and my real goal in doing this was because I have seen this issue in the community and I really wanted to address these issues. That's what I want to hear. And like Black at Your Production said, Tariq has a following because he talks bull, and that's true. All right, he said yes, he did. Thank you so much. He said, I don't care about Tariq or that museum. I don't either. I don't pay attention to none of them because it's not. And my thing about it here is this: what a museum means artifacts. Where he gonna get the artifacts from? He gonna go sculpt, get somebody to sculpt them to put in the museum? Because last time I checked, museums need real artifacts, and these artifacts are not stuff you can just make a sculpture out of. So where's he gonna get? Where's he gonna get the artifacts from?
I don't think it's going to stop either. It's going to be a hidden history museum, the hidden factory, hell, the hidden strip club. Throw some consciousness in the pole. I mean, it ain't gonna stop, but yeah,
It's embarrassing. It's a,
embarrassing.
I'm
Yeah.
glad I'm not associated with them, but it's embarrassing. It's just like it's a shameful task to the fact that the people who are not at the forefront are the people with skills, are architects. Black what is he? He said the museum gonna be filled with hidden colors posters. Hidden colors posters, hidden colors DVDs, Ogun juice.
His K Flex album, Wash Your Ass.
It's gonna be the art of Mackin in there. It ain't gonna be nothing there. It's not gonna be nothing of significance. And like I said, where are the archaeologists on this? Where are they? Where are the historians? Where are the paleo? Where are those people who do that? Where is it? They're nowhere to be found. Your paleo are archaeologists.
He said with his horrible music playing in the background.
We got a lot of work to do. Like what we're doing, we're gonna continue doing what we're doing. We're gonna continue working with our Liberian brothers and sisters because that's what matters, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah. Um, yeah.
Any final remarks? Anything else y'all want to say? Because I don't want to keep going on forever. He says Netta gonna have kiosks for DVDs at the door. Oh my god.
Imagine the ticket cost, man. 200 to get in.
But yeah, but continue going on. But keep going forward. Last thing you want to say?
um, as far as anything relevant to the topic, uh, body of work is the epitome of selecting the right people to represent or to assign for a specific task. And if we just pick anybody, then that gives us the representation from people outside that, oh, anybody can just join in, which shouldn't be the case. You know, it it's okay to be selective. Hell, these other races are doing it. You know, they're not just picking anybody. They're very picky, you know, on who's going to represent them. Why should not we, you know, why shouldn't we do the same? So I would just say, you know, come with the credentials, you know, and we have to look towards that.
And my last thing to say, you know how we're truly a competent organization and one that you need to listen to. We are not looking for attention. People who are
Mm,
competent and people who are intelligent don't look for attention. We're not seeking attention. We're not trying to get clicks and views. There's a reason why most of our videos don't get 1,000, 2,000. I'm not making these videos to do clickbait. I don't care about that. That's not why I'm doing these videos. I'm doing these videos to get out the news. Excuse me, to get out the news, to educate people about Liberia. That's what I'm doing that for. We're not doing this for clout chasing. We don't care. We don't have a donate button because we don't care. That's not what we're there for. We're there because we want to see Liberia succeed. We want to make sure Liberia has all the necessary infrastructure, the development, make sure Liberians and the diaspora and African Americans are able to invest. That's what matters to us.
right.
All this other stuff is a distraction.
A distraction.
Yes. He says, why are blacks willing to listen to Tariq, ADOS movement, or down? Because we don't have nobody wants to connect things. Everybody just wants to start at a specific point, right? And I will say this: it does reflect not only our low level of intellect, but it also emphasizes this subjectivity of history, right?
Mm,
One of the things that upsets me, again, not looking at things from its entirety, making up lies that have no evidence, talking about if we were there during slavery, where are the slave ships? We got slave ships. Look at the Clotilda. But you're not going to bring that up.
right.
You keep talking about, well, we started back here in 1619. Other stuff doesn't matter. No, it didn't, because we were called Afro Americans in the 1780s, long before the country even existed. But see, this stuff doesn't matter. People don't want to actually look up facts, actually want to break down things, want to look at different topic areas. Everybody wants a broad brush. Everybody wants stuff to be simple. Everybody wants just a one solution answer, and it's not that. It's complex. It takes research. It takes studies. It takes outlines. It takes all of that. And if you're not willing to do that, you're a joke. I don't take none of these organizations serious. We would mop the floor with them. It would be either a mop the floor or a sweep on them, because I guarantee you, I can check every one of them. Okay, and I still study their movements. I read about their movements. I don't just sit here and don't pay them attention. No, I read what they are up or what's going on, so that I know, number one, I'm not putting words in your mouth. What you said is what you said. Period. That's my opinion on it. If underrated mind, if you want to give an opinion on that Barudi's comment, you are more than welcome to do so.
Um, I think we good.
All righty. So remember, the lounge is today. Make sure y'all sign up to the website so that y'all can be a part of this and we can let you in. Um Roberts, if you're still there, if once you sign up to the website, you will notify us, but also, if just in case, send me an email so that if somebody doesn't get to you, um I can get it to you. So if you can email me, Roberts, again, once you've signed up, and therefore, we can, if nobody's there to, accept you, I can get them to get it for you. So just make sure you do that. Oh, surprisingly, Umoja wants to be on. I'll give Umoja the last take because I know he really want to say something. So Umoja, welcome to the panel.
Hey guys, good morning. I I woke up a little late, and when I got on, y'all was cooking so well. I was like, oh, I'm gonna just let these brothers finish it out. But
Uh-huh.
then then I heard you mention the not talking about I can't remember the guy now on top of my head, and that just made me feel so good because I was thinking the same thing last night, but I didn't say nothing because I wanted to let you cook, and I knew it was gonna come from a land nationhood infrastructure perspective. However, being that you didn't, it just make me want to big up the BIO that much more because our content and Halabat said this a few weeks ago in the lounge, like ain't no one does content like we do content. We're not talking about we're not like when something happens, a police shooting, we're not just like, ooh, let's make a video about this. Or when some celebrity say something stupid, ooh, let's make a video about this. Because one, it's stuff that we've already talked about amongst ourselves ad nauseum. Like this is how we are. This is our conditions, and what we do. We just focus on the goal. We focus on the end game. We focus on land, infrastructure, and nationhood. We don't want to sit up here and have us all blood boiling about what's happening in America. When we see these conscious crooks get caught in some crookedness, we don't have to go to YouTube and be like, see, we told you, we've been telling you this for years. Because if you listen, and you already know that we've been telling you these things, and it just makes me feel so proud to be a part of the BIO. Reading the comments when I first came in, seeing brothers saying, as a Liberian, I'm really proud. It makes me feel good that you guys are doing this. You guys need to, like, that kind of stuff is the stuff that gets us going, not sitting up here gossiping about people. So I really just wanted to point that out. I'm sure that you probably did in the intro or something, but I didn't hear it, so I'm giving my perspective. But yeah, it just makes me feel so good. Seriously, it just makes me feel so good to like stick to our guns. Like, no, we talk about leaving this place. We talk about making Liberia better. We talk about land infrastructure and nationhood. That's our focus. Also, that's one of the reasons why we don't have thousands and thousands and thousands of views and thousands of people looking at us, because we talk about work. And that's why the Tariq Nasheeds and that's why the ADOS people have so many followers, because they don't want you to work. They want you to sign your name on a petition and then press the little Cash App button and the PayPal button. That's all they want. All they
Yeah. Yeah.
Feel me though. Feel me though. That's all you have to do, and you a part of something. And you a part of something that they say is for the people. But you really don't have to do anything but stay here, keep catching ass whoopings from left and right, keep on being downtrodden, keep on being a third, fourth class citizen in the country that you call your own. Right. But the BIO is saying, no, we actually want you to use your skills to actually help us build a nation, like literally, not figuratively, not saying let's stay where you're at. And then if you keep on voting and if you keep on sending us money, I promise one day things are going to change for us. Nah, BIO is saying, no, we actually want you to come with us and go visit Africa. We want you to come with us and start talking to these officials. We want you to sit up there and use your expertise to help us design how to build a nation up. And that's why we're not as popular as everybody else. Because we don't want to be the cool kids. We want to be the kids that sit up there and work, start work at McDonald's when we're 15, go to school, right? We want to be those kids. Everybody else want to be basically the drug dealer until they get caught and go to prison. I know that's a weird analogy, but our
I would also say this.
Mm.
Nobody else wants to do the level of research that we're doing. Nobody wants to bring up the archives. Nobody wants to bring up the receipts. Everybody just wants to, talk about what's trendy and give you basic overviews and that stuff. Nobody wants to actually break down, like African Media Design that said about sharing Liberian history. Nate, you can type in literally the Liberian presidential series, and we're literally the only people talking about this. Nobody else is talking about what we're talking about. You type in Liberian presidents and the specifics of each of them. You can't find not a single one. The lib year of the diaspora, we're the only ones that were talking about it. Nobody else was talking about it but us. We were the ones who were bringing attention to that. Like I said, you type in Liberian presidential series, we're literally the only people that literally have the videos. Nobody else is doing what we're doing. And that's what I love about us. We're not here to, like I said, we're not here to give you entertainment. I'm not trying to entertain you. I don't have an ego. Okay, we don't have egos here. Nobody here is getting a cookie or getting a cash app for doing what we're supposed to do. We're doing what we're supposed to be doing because that's what we're supposed to do. Because we care about you. We care about you. We care about each other.
Man, y'all crack me up when y'all say Cash App.
And unlike us, we understand nationhood. Not everybody's gonna be an ideal person. We accept everybody, regardless of religion, orientation, gender. It doesn't matter. Because we understand what nationhood is about. These other people are having unrealistic expectations of nationhood. They think they know what nationhood is. Oh, he even said a better one. He said not one of these groups are nationhood because they refuse to accept that they are descendants of African people. They do not know that all life began there. They refuse. It's so funny because they take DNA tests and find out they're majority African, but will not defend their African ancestry. You literally took a DNA test and it literally showed you were majority African, and yet you will still not claim to be African.
I'm 75% Cameroon. What? Oh, but Rudy had a question. He said, "Is the reparations movement in shambles or in the positive trajectory since Mr. Biden became president in the U.S.? What's the status?"
Well, my thing is, it depends on what you define as reparations. Like, what do you define? If you're talking about at a local level, yeah, I mean, some are working now. You can call it reparations or not, but they're trying the men's. But it depends on how you define it. And I'm gonna go and challenge the ADOS movement and all of them and say, well, you said it needs to be a national project, but it doesn't have national support. So wouldn't you start at a local level? Right? Wouldn't you want to start at a local level to then build it up nationally? Well, he said no, because it was America that was inflicted. Yeah, it was America, but it was a handful of states that primarily did it. Okay, never. Jim Crow laws was not ever. Now you could say redlining played a factor, but primarily who drove that was Southern states. The New Deal got passed only because Southern states demanded that Black people be left out of it. It wasn't FDR or New York or Chicago or Wisconsin or Minnesota that wanted to leave Black people out. It was specifically Southern states that said, we will not sign the New Deal if it includes Black people. So once again, you're saying all of America, which yes, all of America played a part into it, but not all parts of America played the same role. You can't it's just people don't look at stuff nuance like with legitimate nuance. Everybody just says you don't know enough. And you know what's funny? They say, and I'll let you say because I don't want to keep talking forever, but they will say to you, we don't know enough. You don't know enough to speak on this issue, but will speak on Pan-Africanism and can't tell you a single thing. Was so ignorant that she literally said the green represent an Irish person, but you don't know enough. So why are you talking?
Well, what we can do though is talk about what we do know about reparations. What I do know about reparations is that it was a bill, the same exact bill that everybody is up in arms about, was first brought about over 30 years ago. It's the same exact bill. And in that same exact bill, it is written in a way, and it literally states that the reparation bill is to do research to see if whether or not African Americans need reparations. Literally, if you look at the bill, I can't remember the name of the bill, but anybody could look up the
HR
reparations
40.
and you will learn that it was first introduced on the floor over 30 years ago. So this is that. What we also know about reparations is that every other group that had an inkling of of oppression from America, from the Native Americans to the Japanese, have all received some sort of reparations. So what we do know is everybody else then got them except for our black asses. And what we do know is that these people have a history of pacifying us and keeping a carrot on us to keep us going. That's what we do know about it. Now, what we also know is that at the same time, we talk out the side of our mouth boasting about the Nielsen's latest report saying that we have trillions and trillions in quote unquote spending power. And what we also know is that we'll have a bunch of individuals make selling t-shirts and having pop-ups and having food carts and things of this nature. And what we also know is that we will not come together on our own to have our own systems within America itself to support ourselves. So what I deduce from all that is that America is never going to do anything for black people, and black people seem to not want to do anything for black people. We want to move individuals. Therefore, why are we sitting up here waiting for somebody to give something to us who are clearly our enemies, who are and just not thinking critically, like why would our enemies give us any kind of power? Why would people who literally get rich and have gotten rich and continues to get rich off of our oppression then say let's stop oppressing them so that we could end up on a level playing field actually? And all that just to say that nothing is stopping us from getting passports. Nothing is stopping us from organizing our own selves. We do have enough resources. We have resources in terms of financial capital to human capital to do everything that we want ourselves away from America. We even have the capital to do it in America, but we won't do it. Literally, we have the capital and the resource to do it in America, and we won't do it, but we expect somebody else to do for us. That's called insanity, y'all. Get over
I
the
got
reparation. Stop
I
playing.
got a simple question. I got a simple question, even to add to your point, Emoja. What strategic benefit does the United States get if they give you reparations? That's the thing I want to know. What strategic benefit or interest does America get from giving black people reparations if you're
I have,
not your own nation? If
I
you're
actually
not your own nation.
I actually have an answer to that. Actually, if I was America, I would actually give reparations in the form of like a check, maybe a single big check, or like a check for 5 to 10 years, every year, or something like that. Because then black people can't say shit. You can't say anything about racism. You can't say anything about slavery anymore. You can't say nothing
Oh
about you can,
shit.
you can't say nothing about inequality anymore. You can't say anything to me because I'm paying you and I've paid you for that. And that's all that you niggas seem to want is to be paid. So now
And
I'm gonna pay you guys, and now you
thank
can't
you.
do
Thank
anything,
you for
but you
saying
also
that.
whoopings.
Thank you for
And
saying that.
I would do it if I was America. I would do it. And see, people don't like to hear this, but they know that it's the truth. See, because our enemies think our enemies are not better than us, but they're much more wicked. And they use that wicked genius against us because we want to be peace, love, and light and all this old BS and act like the world is just this happy, harmonious place when it's not. We need to be sticking to ourselves on a vicious level. And when I say vicious level, I don't mean in terms of like F other people, like let's hurt other people. No, I'm talking about love ourselves in a vicious manner, like no matter what we it's us first. It's us and then them. It's us and them. Just like you're in your family at your home, it's your family first. That's how we should be as a collective people, but we just have a hard time understanding how much everybody else is on their own team. We want to be on team Asian, we want to be on team DACA, team Mexican, we want to be on team LGBT, we want to be on everybody else's team, but when it comes to black, we seem to have all these reasons not to stick together. It's once again insanity. But yeah, I would absolutely give a check. And anytime the police shoots my eye, I said, you better shut up and go and cash that check. How about that? We don't want to hear
I like, and that's one of the things that the people who advocate for reparations forget. Like, okay, let's say America gives reparations to black people. That's not going to stop police shootings from happening. So,
Oh shit.
like, or trauma that's being afflicted upon black people. So,
Oh.
what is that money going to do to eliminate that trauma from other black people? Secondly, one of the things that you forgot to add that I'll add that's important is all of these other groups are defined as nations. Even though Native Americans are considered a domestic dependent nation, they're still considered nations. They have their own lands that are owned, like the reservations that are owned by them. Now, you can judge the reservations how you want to. By all stretch of imagination, Native Americans are not super well off. In fact, they are the poorest group of people in America. We know that. Just saying. But I just want to bring that case. Japanese Americans, although it was small, Japanese Americans can tie their linkage to Japan. And that was also during the 1980s trade war with Japan. People forget about that. Israel got reparations. It was called the West Germany Israel Accord. And like I said, the strategic benefits. Germany, West Germany, not East Germany, because East Germany necessarily did not give reparations until it was after German reunification in 1990. West Germany gave reparations to Israel because West Germany wanted to be seen in a positive light in the international community. So the international community said, all right, Germany, if you own up to your Holocaust view mistakes, you prosecute them, and you give the Israelis reparations, then we will let you into the international stage. And one of the things that people forget about Zionism, which led to the state of Israel, Jewish people were already immigrating to Israel even before the Nazis came to power. It just accelerated, but they were already in the process of moving to Palestine. There was little conflicts breaking out between Israelis and Palestinians all the way back to the 1930s. We're not even talking about the 1948 Nakba or the Arab-Israeli War. So, once again, not understanding history, not being competent in history gets you to this point. Like we all said, like wisdom never sleeps. Dennis said, America is not getting rich off our struggle, but our refusal to be self-sustainable and self-accountability and responsibility, that does play a factor. And like I said, what strategic interest does the United States get with reparations? What? Where you finna go? What? What country you gonna side with? Saying, okay, America, you don't do this. Okay, what you gonna do about it? What? What leverage you got? You ain't got no leverage because you ain't no nation. You don't control no trade policy. You don't control. You ain't in no organization. You ain't part of CARICOM. You ain't part of the Union of the Mono River. You ain't part of the African Union. You ain't part of ECOWAS. You ain't part of the AFCFTA. You ain't part of OAS. You ain't part of none of them. So what you going? What leverage you got? Tell me what leverage you got. Please tell me what leverage you got. Does the UN assume that group reparations from a victimized country to an oppressed people mean that the construction of a new country for the oppressed or separation? Do African American reparationists believe this? I think that's what the UN assumes because when people think about it, when Germany committed the atrocities against the Herero people in Namibia, it was the Namibian government that said, we want reparations to what happened to the Herero people. It wasn't the Herero people walking up to Germany and saying, hey, yo, Germany, we want reparations. The Herero people said so. Now, mind you, there are tens, dozens of ethnic groups in Namibia. But it's the Namibian government that's speaking on behalf of the Herero people and saying, this is what happened to us. This is what happened to us. And they are speaking. It was called the Herero and Namka genocide. Those are two ethnic groups in Namibia. Now, if you look up the amount of ethnic groups in Namibia, you have the Herero people, the Ovombo people, the Damara people, the Bastard people, the San people, the Nam people, the Khoisan people, the Kavanga people, the Zemba. So many different ethnic groups in Namibia. But it's the Namibian government that speaks on the behalf of the Herero people. Now, the genocide didn't happen to the other people. So the other people are saying, well, why do the Abombo people got to make this case? Because we didn't get genocide from Europeans. They could say that, but they don't. Why? Because the Namibian government is the representative of it. And this is international relations. This is not within country. That's another thing people are forgetting about. So, like, He says they aren't going to create an Israel-like state for African Americans. Liberia already exists. Exactly. Liberia is to be the representative of African Americans. The Liberian government, and this is why I emphasize on Liberia so hard, because Liberia is going to be the one that comes and says, listen, America, you created us. Okay, you paid $100,000 at that time to send us over here for the creation of this nation. Okay, the flag is a resemblance of it. Okay, our capital city is named Monrovia. We have a Maryland county that was once called the Republic of Maryland. You can't deny your history from us. And every time you look at us, it's a reminder of your history, because we can always say that. We can always be, whenever we vote in the UN Assembly, we are the representative and the reminder of America's past sins of slavery. He said, what is crazy is that America continues to pay annually to Israel for what Germany supposedly done to their Jewish counterpart, but nothing to descendants of Africans, because Israel is a strategic what? Interest to the United States. What strategic interest do Africans have? I just need to know. I just need to know, what strategic interest do African people have to the United States? I let my little monologue or soliloquy happen. So I'll hand it over to the other guy.
Before Umoja got on, I said my piece.
Now you gonna blame Emoji, ain't that? Look, y'all was about to close, and I come on running my
Hey
mouth,
man,
right?
look, you had the protein shake, not me, man. You came on, just all over. I'm like, oh, he got a good workout, and today must have been bicep day.
Something wrong with you, bro. But I was thinking, Jabari made me think about a term that I was reading the tweet a few months ago, and his brother said something, I can't remember what it was in regards to, but he said effective action, and he had it in bold. And I was like, that is such a good term, because I remember years ago when I was working on some local community stuff, and brothers and sisters would always want to keep doing the same thing. And I'm like, y'all, we need to be doing stuff for ourselves. Like, even before I was like, okay, we need to go and leave America, when I was on some, we can do it right here in America, I was still saying, but black people need to do it all themselves. We don't want government grants. We don't want people who have any kind of control over us. And they would always, no, but we need this. And it just turned me off so much. And I called it chasing our tail, can't see past our feet, and always wanting others involved. And I was always like, we need to do for ourselves. We need to do it for ourselves. And we need to do stuff that actually change stuff, not just activities and things like this to make us feel good. And what the reparation movement is doing is it is taking some of our brightest, it is taking some people who have good intentions in terms of lawyers and everything else, and is doing stuff that really doesn't matter. What Liberia gives us the opportunity to do is take effective action, doing things that can actually change something. Like, imagine if all the people who had their mind shifted towards reparations, and they really are working hard, they really are doing good work. They're doing good work, right? But they're not doing it in an effective manner. So those people will one day get burned out, or they will one day retire and still not see reparations happen, but still feel good like they did something, right? However, imagine if all these people was putting their energy towards, okay, well, let's get this reparations for an actual nation. Liberia is something that is our own. You can't say anything like, no, it's not ours and everything else. If you're making excuses about that, I don't even want to talk to you. But we have to take effective action, showing them people that we serious, because they laugh at us, y'all. The world laugh at us and America laugh at us. Like, these dudes really think that they're gonna do something. They get on here and they'll listen to us and they'll nod their heads and everything. And then when they go in their chambers, they laughing at us. Probably literally. laughing at us like, yeah, we can do this for another 30 years and another 30 years. And 100 years later, we're going to still be in the same position in America, as opposed to taking effective action, looking towards what is going to change our futures. That's all I want to do. That's all I want to talk about. All this stuff that we've been doing for 60 years, 100 years, like, no, we're not doing that anymore, guys. We need to take effective action. That's my word for today. Good night.
All righty. And my
Well,
last take
damn.
on that was a good ending. Mic drop right there. The last thing I would say to the viewers and to the panelists is, like I was saying with the Namibian genocide, when the Namibian government representing, the Herero and Namka people, those were the two ethnic groups that were primarily targeted. But when you have a nation of your own, a nation that represents you, okay, they can go on your behalf and tell Germany, you need to right this wrong. That's the difference when you have your own nation. Look at how hard it is to get reparations within country. How many atrocities have happened within a country that have never been addressed? We see this in Nigeria with the Igbos being oppressed by the Northerners. Because it's within country, it's a lot harder to get reparations than it is when you're your own nation. It's a lot harder. It was the reason why Armenia was able to get the Armenian genocide recognized is because Armenia is a country. It speaks for the Armenian people. So Turkey may not like it, but it doesn't matter what Turkey thinks because Turkey it doesn't speak for Armenians. Armenians are their own country. So therefore they can speak for themselves. If we claim Liberia as our homeland, knowing that Liberia is often referred to as Little America, take it as it may, we can say, listen, the Liberian government speaks for African Americans. We can speak for ourselves. We know what we need. And it gives us leverage because we have diplomatic relations. We're part of groups that we can make inroads and express our soft power. And there's also ways that we can go that we couldn't do if we were in nation. That's what we're saying. You have to understand context, okay? And that's what they're failing to understand. So, with that being in conclusion, it's important that you have people who show the work, who are competent on this matter, because that's how results are given. Results are not given by people who are the most confident. Rewards and actions are done with the people who are the most capable and can show it. And with that, y'all, I'll leave you with this live stream. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. Remember to sign up to the website at baioafricstan.org/register. Thank you guys for being on the live stream. Remember, like Holub said, make Liberia great again. And of course, we'll see all of you fam in the next video. Peace, everybody.
Peace.
Peace with it.